In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new LEGO sets that are going to be released on March 1st. So without further ado, let's get into it. And like always, before we do go on to this video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, let me know down below in the comments, which of these LEGO sets are you planning on picking up? So like I mentioned in the intro of this video, today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new, LEGO sets that are going to be coming out. I think they all come out in March. Maybe some of them might be a little bit different, but there's actually a decent amount. In this case here, there's actually 44 different new sets that we're actually going to go through in this video. So I priced these, I end up filtering these by high to low, just because I feel like the more standout items, obviously the ones that are a little bit more expensive. We'll kind of go through each of these, and I'll just give you my initial thoughts on whether or not some of them I think are really cool, whether or not some of them I think would be pretty cool sets to buy and whatnot, and potentially ones that I might even pick up. And maybe we can do a full-out review video on those, just because if you remember some of my previous videos, I still have a lot of my modular buildings I haven't yet built, but that's something that I plan on doing at a later date. We're going to take a look at these brand new sets. So the first one we're going to start off with is the medieval town square. So I saw a really cool video from Brick to Perfection. I think he just recently posted, so a huge shout out to him. I'll leave a link down below or something like that, but he's the one who pointed this out, that I guess this medieval set is kind of like a new take on one of their old previous medieval sets. So what I will do is I won't spoil that video for you. Go ahead and check out his channel. He'll tell you all about the details about the set, which I thought was really interesting because I never could realize that. But basically, I think it was from 8 or 9 years ago, they released a medieval set from under the castle theme, because I think now it's, I think they call it, I don't even know what the castle theme is called, but I know this one's called an icon set, but basically, or I guess, I don't know, medieval, whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is kind of like a revamp almost of what they did back, I think it was like 2011 or 2012 when they released the medieval set. But I won't talk to you about this video. Go check out his video. He did a really good job. It's Brick to Perfection. I'll probably leave a link down below so you guys can check out his review. He actually goes through a lot of these sets as well, but that's something that really stood out to me, and since it's the first one, we definitely can I just definitely want to give a huge shout out to that. So my thing here, which I actually think is really cool, which I like about this castle set a lot, is that it actually is kind of like or more of like a diorama. I feel like a lot of sets nowadays are usually just end up being the one piece, but something like a medieval, this kind of reminds me of like a town square. I don't even know what it's actually called. Oh, it is called Town Square. I didn't even realize what it was called, but yeah, I just like, that was kind of funny. I didn't even clue into that until right away, but I definitely think it's really cool. Like I like the idea that you're building two buildings. You kind of get to play with your own little scene. I don't know how I feel about having like the open back. I know it's meant to be more of a playable set, but I think it would be cool if they did just complete the whole thing, similar to like how they do with the modular buildings. But I have a feeling the reason why that they did that is just because they need to reduce on the overall piece count. Obviously, this set is already retailing at $300 Canadian, so it's already a pretty expensive set. Curious how many pieces it has. So it's got 3,000 pieces at $300 each. That's actually not that bad. I think, to put in perspective, I think it's about the same price as like a modular build, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely I think is a pretty fair deal. The one thing that I thought was really cool, just kind of going through them, I really like the minifigures. I love that you have like the little, what is that called? Not a banjo. It's called a guitarra. But I thought this was really cool. I like the fact that they're keeping with the knights and castle theme. I don't remember what their types of characters are. Let me phrase it. I don't remember what the names of the militaries are for each one. I don't collect knights and castles, unfortunately, but I know that this is one of them, and then there's another version, and people who follow the knights and castles more would know about this. But it would be cool to have something like this one day in a LEGO city. I think right now specifically, like, you kind of have to create its own scene of doing like the knights and castle theme, and you kind of have that separate from like a LEGO city. But I don't know, other than that, I thought that this was a really cool set. It had a lot of intricate details that goes with it. You've got like a bakery. Oh, it's like a workshop. This is like a workshop, so he's obviously building a chair. You've got like a little bakery guest area here. I don't know what this is. This is like, oh, this is like a room upstairs, a little bit like a trap door maybe. I'm not totally sure. You got like the bounties. I think that's really cool. I think in general, I think it really captivates all of the different things you would probably see in a medieval town square. A lot of stuff going on, which is, I think, is great about this set. There's a lot of cool details. Now, the last thing I will touch on though is I do love the brick detail as well as the roof detail. I thought they did a really good job at showing that representation of how these buildings were built back in the day. Like, for example, in this image here on this is usually would be like a hay. They probably have like hay or like that kind of grassy roof sometimes. It would have like a wood base, then you put that on top kind of thing. So I think overall I think it's really good. I actually think this is a really, really cool set. And personally, I feel like if I ended up doing some sort of medieval style set, I would probably, like mock or or diorama, if you want to call it, I'd probably want to include something like this. Before we continue the video, I have a special announcement. My LEGO idea submission called The Cone has reached the next milestone. We just passed the 100 supporter mark in under 3 days, which is absolutely incredible. So I do want to give a big thanks to everybody who's voted so far, but this is only just the beginning. We now have exactly 1 year to get to 1,000 supporters, so the journey has just begun. You can vote for my LEGO ideas submission in 3 easy steps. Step 1, click the link down below in the description. Step 2, log into your LEGO ideas account. And then finally, step 3, just click the support button. And that's it. I want to thank everybody for all the support so far. And now let's get back to the video. Moving on, this is the Mercedes AMG F1 W14E Performance. This is one of the new Technic builds. I don't really build much for Technic, but it definitely looks like a really cool set. I do follow a little bit of Formula One. The one thing that I really like about these, and we're going to talk a lot about Formula One because I know that there's a lot of new Formula One cars coming out in this set, is I love the fact that they are including the sponsors. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was about 8 years ago when they started doing these, they weren't including all the sponsors, and the car felt a little bit naked, and I feel like personally this is what makes the cars look really nice. So definitely a really cool job on that. I won't talk too much about this one because honestly I don't really play with these, or not play with these, I don't build Technic that much. But if I'm not mistaken, I think this one does have a pullback function, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there's a different one that has a pullback function. I can't honestly remember. Then you got Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. What I think is kind of interesting about this one is there's a little bit of backlash on this one because this was apparently, there was a LEGO idea set that was similar to this one that I think got to 10,000, but then ended up getting rejected. And then LEGO came out and just like basically said that this was their own. I personally don't think LEGO stole the idea. I think what happened is that LEGO had this already in production. And obviously it's Snow White's house. Like you can go up on Google and look up what his house would, what the house, no, his house, but her cottage where the 7 doors would be, and it's probably not that hard to replicate. But I did think this was a little bit interesting because I feel bad for the artist who did create this cottage originally, and I feel like they kind of got the short end of the stick there, unfortunately, just based off of timing. But other than that though, I definitely think it's cool. I really have been enjoying the fact that they've been, obviously they have the Disney 100 set, but they've been continuing kind of these like icons. I think this is in the icon set, or maybe it's Disney set, but you have, for example, like the Hocus Pocus house, which I thought was really nice. I like the fact that they're keeping these like Disney themed areas, or Disney themed sets, because I think this would be actually really cool to even include in your medieval village, because it's kind of got like that same theme, since we're already talking about that. The one thing that I think is interesting though is, again, they did the open face back. They're trying to make it so it's, you know, you can play with it on the play with all the pieces on the inside and whatnot. I do like the fact that it does include a light brick, and it's for the fireplace here, so you can, and I think this isn't the only set. I think there's a couple more later on in the video where they actually show, there's actually like, they're really bringing back a lot of the light bricks, or a lot of like different types of, I guess, bricks that involve batteries or have a different functionality. I'm a little bit surprised about the price though. $290 and you get 2,200 pieces. I'm getting the feeling Disney's turning into like the Star Wars thing, where you're spending a lot more money on the brand rather than the actual set. Like if you go back and compare this to Medieval Town Square, like this one has an extra 1,000 pieces and is only $10 more. And that's a little bit pricey. So up next we have some LEGO Ninjago Dragonstone Shire. I have never been a Ninjago fan, but to me, I think this is a really beautiful set. If I'm building a Lego city and I got this piece, I'm putting this as like the fountain in the middle of like a garden. Like this, I think they did a really good job on the details on. I have not seen Ninjago. I don't know enough about the actual series and sets themselves. I don't play with them or watch the TV series or anything like that, or I don't even think I've even seen the movie. But this is, I don't know if this is part of the scene or if this is like a new thing in whatever it is, but I really do like the details on this. I know that there is a functionality component where you can actually, like, yeah, in this case here you can battle, in the other case here you can like open up the back end of the dragon. You get like the secret book. So if I take a guess, it probably does have to do with some sort of scene. They probably end up going to this place to look for something. But in the end, I think it's really, really well done. I really do enjoy it. I also love the minifigures. I think the minifigures are extremely detailed. I think they did a really good job. I don't know what the characters are because, again, I don't follow Ninjago, but I don't know. This was a really interesting set, and I would love to potentially purchase this and just have it as like a centerpiece in like a park. I think that would look beautiful. Yeah, the Dragonstone Shire, it retails for $150. It's got 1,200 pieces. Little bit on the price, maybe not on the, it's probably about average or a little bit more on the pricier side, but still the same thing. A very, very well detailed set. We got another Ninjago, which is the Wolf Mask Shadow Dojo. I don't know, you can't really go from the other one back to this one. I don't have much. It's okay. It's whatever. I don't have anything cool comments to say about that one, at least. So we got some more. Is this more Technic stuff? I might skip some of the Technic just because I don't really review Technic that much, but it's like a heavy cargo spaceship. Obviously they're keeping with the space theme, so they're keep bringing in the sci-fi, bringing in more of that technic stuff. It definitely looks cool. The one that I do really want to talk about is actually this sorting hat here. I saw it and I was like, I really want to talk about this. What's really, really cool about this sorting hat is apparently it comes with pre-made dialogue. So when you build this hat and you put it on your head, apparently it actually talks to you. So this is the actual hat itself. For those who remember, this is in the very first Harry Potter movie where it basically chooses if he's in Gryffindor or Slytherin or Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff, any of the 4 houses. But what's interesting about this one is, number one, it would be cool if it moved, but I don't think it does. But what it does do is it actually talks. So yeah, it does. On the back here, it does have 31 sounds. So technically, if you do put it on your head, I think you can actually it'll select a house for you. And I think it's random, so it doesn't it's not like a pre-record thing. So there's like a sequence. It's completely random, which I love. I really like this. I think when you're gonna take something from a movie, or you're gonna take an idea from like a TV show, and you can incorporate whether it's sound effects or light effects, I think that's what brings these Lego sets above and beyond. I think it creates it more realistic in the sense, but also more accurate to the film or whatever it is that you're trying to represent. And I think that is really cool, and I love that they did this with this hat, because otherwise it'd just be a standalone piece, which would still be fine. But the fact that you can actually get the sounds and you can actually build this, and then if your friends come over, you want to put it on you can just make it fun and just figure out what houses that you're in, I think is really, really interesting. So again, it retails for $130. I understand why, because there's more of a there's an actual sound component that goes to this. It's only 561 pieces. It's a little bit more on the expensive side, but I'm okay with that, because of I think the functionality of it is actually very family friendly, and I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this. And I can see this being one of the more popular sets of this year, just because of this type of. This is my hot take. This is gonna be one of the more popular sets of this year. You'll see. They only have the one Star Wars set. Never mind. I thought they had another Star Wars set that came out, but maybe not. So what we will do is we're gonna fast forward a little bit, because there's some Ninjago sets. There's this Stitch model. Actually, let's take a look at this one first, because I did want to talk about that Star Wars set. So this is another part one of the Disney sets. I do like the fact that they have more of the Disney icons adult versions. That's kind of like what they do with Snow White, and then they also have more of just the Disney theme itself. I don't know. I think that with the Disney theme, it's more, obviously it's got more of the kid friendly, even though not necessarily it's for kids, but whereas when you do more of the black matte box and it's meant for, yes, it says it's Disney, but you can tell it could be tailored for adults. I do like that they do have that kind of separation. So this is Stitch himself. Interesting character. I think that this is something fun that you can include if you want to have it on your desk. This is the first time I have seen this, so this does look actually kind of interesting in that sense. It obviously doesn't look it's obviously probably not that big, but definitely looks like a fun set. For 730 pieces, $85, I think that's a pretty good deal. I think that you could definitely display it on your desk. I can even have it in one of my backgrounds on the desk behind me. That would be pretty interesting too to see. The next one we are going to talk about is the boarding of Tantive 4. I guess these are part of the Lego 25 years of Star Wars. I don't remember when these are supposed to release, now that I think about it. I thought they were all released in March. Maybe they already did. I'm going to go double check this right now. Oh, never mind. They already did. So there you go. They already did release. I wasn't sure. I thought they all came out on March 1st, but I guess some of them must have come out on February 1st, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it tells you. This is the Tantive 4, boarding of Tantive 4 when Darth Vader. It's one of the most iconic scenes of Darth Vader walking through the door. Interesting that you get a exclusive minifigure ARC Trooper 5, because it has nothing to do with the set. Interesting. There's I've never really had a chance to go through this, but there's actual mechanics. Oh, the door slides open. You can kind of see it's got I think he slices through the door, if I'm not mistaken. This is actually really interesting. I like that. You actually just get a random clone trooper. Kind of funny because it has nothing to do with Star Wars Episode 4. But so I want to talk about this one for 2 reasons. Number one, I didn't actually know about the exclusive minifigure. I think the minifigures are really well done. I like the idea of the set where it's we're trying to showcase a really famous Star Wars scene. In my opinion, though, I feel like it lacks a little bit of detail. You're talking about one of the most iconic scenes ever, and I get that they're in a hallway and there's only so much you can do, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done more. I think the price of $70 for 500 pieces is okay. I think the fact that you're getting 3, 6, 7 minifigures is pretty cool. I don't know. Just looking at this right now, I've seen this. This is the second time I've seen this, and I actually had a chance to go through it in a little bit more detail. I do feel like they could have added a little bit more detail on this. I don't know what you would do differently. I haven't seen the scene in a while, but I don't know. For me, if you're going to talk about a very iconic scene of Darth Vader, you should really emphasize that. I think the throne room that they did, I think was it last year, was I think had more detail than this one. The price was a little bit high, but it was another iconic scene with Darth Vader. I think it's Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and Emperor Palpatine. If I'm not saying, if I'm wrong, then I'm thinking of something completely different. Actually, we're gonna go double check that right now, because I can't even remember now. I did, yeah, okay. See, this one here, if you take a look at this one, the 40 Years Return, this is an iconic scene, and I think they did a really good job at portraying it. I think the price is way too high on it. It's like $130. Oh, actually, sorry. I think it's a little bit higher than it should be because of how simple it is, but it's still like, you know, it's an iconic scene. When you comparing this one to the Tanda 4, like you can see how it's very simplistic. And again, another iconic scene for Darth Vader, and I feel like they kind of missed the boat on it. I know that there's only so much you can do. It's a hallway. You know, maybe you make the set a little bit bigger. Maybe instead of it being a 500 piece set, it's a 1,000 piece set, and you show more. And I personally, I feel like the only reason why they brought in another, like they give you an extra exclusive minifigure ARC Trooper 5 is obviously because it's 25 years of I guess Lego Star Wars, but also I think it's like the 20 years of since episode 1 of Star Wars or something, or 25 years of that too, and that's obviously where those clone troopers come in. And I get that idea of it, but personally feel like they missed the boat just a little bit on the details on this one, and I don't know. That's just my own opinion on it in the end. So we'll go through a couple more sets that I did want to talk about. Oh, so this was the pullback one that I was talking about. I couldn't figure out which one it was. So this is the, I guess this is also a Technic version, but you could actually pull it back and use it. Definitely kind of cool. Talk too much about that. I think it's the exact same. Yeah, it's the exact same F1 Mercedes car, just this one's a pullback. So this was the other one. It was the BMW M4 GT3 and BMW M Hybrid V8 Racer. For $60 and you get 2 cars, I think was actually a pretty good steal of a deal. I like the fact that they are different. It's not like one of those like Creator 3 ones where you can only build one or the other. You actually like legitimately get 2 of the vehicles, which I thought was interesting. I feel like this car is way too long, but I can't believe it was a racing car, but I guess it was. I really like the colors on it. I think BMW, you know, it's got its iconic blue and white and black, but also with this, just with the GT3 models, like I know that they've had the red and blue, and I think they did a really cool job at showing these kinds of cars actually look like. So I think this is definitely an interesting one. For me, what I thought was really cool was, yes, they give you 2 cars, but they didn't up the price. It was $60. Normally you can get the Speed Champions, I think between $25 to $30. So the fact that you can get 2 of them plus 2 minifigures, I thought was actually a really cool deal in the end. So definitely a really good buy. And then finally, we're going to just talk about one more. Obviously, we have the, I guess we can talk about 2 more. With the 2020, we'll start with the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. This is another one where it's definitely an interesting car. I would have liked to see them not put it for $35. I feel like this should be a like $25 car. It's a little bit too simple for me, but it's interesting in the end. It's a boxy car. It's a thick car in that sense, but it's cool. I don't think it's a $35 car. I think it's a $25 car. Yes, it's all blue, but when you compare it to those BMWs look way nicer. And what we will do is we'll end it off. We're going to talk about the 2023 McLaren Formula One race car. This will be the last one. This is the same thing, and I kind of said this at the very beginning with the original McLaren one. What I do really like about these cars and what they've done, what Lego's done a really good job at, is this is a Formula One car. What makes Formula One cars stand out, outside of the fact that they are amazing build cars, the details behind them are really, really cool. What makes them stand out, in my opinion, is actually showing the advertisements on them. And I know it sounds crazy, but like, look at this car, for example. If imagine you didn't have the Google Chrome sponsorship on there, where you have like the chrome on the wheels, or you have like the DeWalt like on the side, or in this case here, I think I think this one's a little bit more expensive, probably because of the, yeah, see, this one is worth $35 in my opinion, because I know for a fact they had to get approval from DeWalt, they had to get approval from Google Chrome and all of the other sponsors that go on it. But for me, like, I would buy this car for $35 because you get a Lego build of what it actually is to see them racing, something that's very similar to what you are seeing on television. And for me, that is what makes them stand out more. Not when you go and look at the Ford, you know, that Ford Dark Horse car. Yeah, I know it's not a racing car, but like, it's too simple. And if you're gonna make them simple like this, and I know it's a Ford Mustang Dark Horse, whatever it is, sports car, but bring the price down. Especially when you're going up against, like I'm saying, the McLaren, or like the pullback the Technic car. This one here is like $35. Like, these are better cars in my opinion than the Ford Mustang. But I'm not here to get mad at the Ford Mustang. It's definitely an interesting car. You know, I like blue. Blue's my favorite color. But I definitely did enjoy this one. I thought this was actually really cool. Like, look at the details on this one. I remember this one stood out for me, and that's why I kind of wanted to end on this one in the end, even though I almost forgot about it. So with that being said, though, I would say the 3 items that I would consider buying, and I'm going to start just to introduce this. Oops, I didn't mean to hit my mic. 3 sets that I'd probably end up wanting to buy, not maybe in particular order, is definitely the 2023 McLaren F1 car. Is definitely one of them. I mean, I like the Soaring Hat. I think the Soaring Hat's interesting. I really like that Dragonstone Shire. I don't know what it is, but it really stands out to me. That's probably gonna be my number 2 that I would probably end up buying. And then between like the Snow White Dwarf's Cottage and then the Medieval Town Square, I look at it as like, what exactly am I building? And honestly, either one would work for me. So I'm going to say probably the Town Square, because I think you get more literally Lego for your buck that you're spending on. And I think it's got more to work with. And then I would give a nice runner-up to the Snow White cottage. But only reason why I'd probably get Snow White's cottage is because I would go ahead and build something with like the knights and castles and things like that. So yeah, so I would say that's my top. Let's say my top 3 in the end were my favorite. Obviously, for me, the Dragonstone Shire is the one that really stands out to me the most. I'll probably put the F1 McLaren as number 2. I'd probably go Medieval Town Square as my 3rd pick, and then as a runner-up, because I decided to do it for this video, I'd probably put the Snow White and the Seven Dwarves Cottage. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's 44 brand new sets. I really want to touch on some of the more interesting ones right off the bat that I was really looking forward to, really excited about. But yeah, let me know down below in the comments which of the ones that are going to be coming out in March. I guess it's not March 1st. I guess it's March 4th. It doesn't, or maybe it's some of them might be March 1st. I thought. Sorry, yeah, they're all March 4th, not March 1st. Yeah, let me know down below in the comments what was your actual top 3. I'm curious. I kind of gave you mine. Like I said before, the McLaren. The Dragonstone Shire, the McLaren, and then the Medieval Town Square. Let me know down below in the comments, like, if you had an unlimited budget and you can spend on whatever you wanted in the end, what would be the 3 main sets that you would go ahead and actually buy? So yeah, I hope you did go on to enjoy this video. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down here in the middle. Click on one of these 2 videos on the side, and I will see you guys in the next one. So see ya.